This episode is sponsored by Fostering UK, one of the UK's premier fostering agencies. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you will know that we do not promote things lightly. If we talk about it, it's because we genuinely believe in it. And this one's personal. Louise actually fosters for them. After years of difficult experiences elsewhere, particularly around poor support and lack of real therapeutic understanding for the children in her care, she transferred to Fostering UK, and they do exactly what they say they do. And that's rare in our sector. They are therapeutic foster care specialists. The support is real, the training high quality, the matching is thoughtful, and the relationships feel human, not corporate. They focus on quality, proper therapeutic training, minimal placement breakdowns, and genuinely putting carers and children and families first. So, whether you're completely new to fostering or you are an experienced carer feeling unsupported and thinking about transferring, this could be very, very, very different for you. If you'd like a personal introduction, you can email us at sarahanderson@fosterwiki.com or Louise at louise-allen.com. Right, let's get into this episode.
Hello and welcome back everybody. How lovely to have you here with us once again for Foster Care Uncovered, our 22nd episode. Sarah, is that right? I think
yeah, 22. Gosh, I thought we'd do about 3 and it would peter out.
Who would have thought? And thank you so much. We are reaching our foster carers, and this is why we are here, and we're so happy to have you with us. So brilliant to see you on this rainy, summery day.
I prefer it to that terrible heat.
That heat last week was something else, wasn't it?
Unbearable.
I'm really happy about this rain. It's
good.
good.
And we're both called gardeners. We're both in green today. I'm going through a bit of a green phase.
Are you?
So, look, I've got green beads on to match.
You have?
So
you like
I've added green to my black.
Green is your new black.
Green is my new black.
You look lovely, Sarah.
As do you, my lovely. Okay, so hello everybody, and yes, thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to spread this far and wide, because it seems that we're empowering foster carers.
Woohoo!
And actually, I would like to say empowering foster care.
Yes.
Because we need to empower everybody in foster care, and that includes all the social workers, all the team managers, everyone. We need to empower everyone. I don't mean in a powerful way, but that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. But in a kind of, if you want to keep your jobs, you need to look after the foster carers kind of way.
Yes.
Because without us, there is no fostering jobs. So I want to start with an opening. We've had loads of messages this week. It's been so fantastic from everybody, including everyone across the sector, and they've been wonderful. This one's really funny, so I wanted to read it out to Louise.
Okay.
So this chap, obviously I haven't got it all in there, but he was listening to the podcast, then read the social workers practice guide that we've been talking about and everything. So he said, firstly, thank you so much for making me snort tea out of my nose while reading the social workers' new guidelines. I genuinely thought it was satire at first. You couldn't invent this level of nonsense unless you locked a management team in a room with a flip chart, a box of crayons, and a gallon of supermarket gin. My long-suffering hubby and I, obviously I won't identify them, between us, we probably attended enough meetings, reviews, consultations, strategy discussions, and reflective conversations to qualify for a degree in professional nodding. We play the game well with both the local authority and the agencies, but blimey, we've seen some sights. We've experienced poor practice, revolving door social workers, managers changing faster than British weather forecasts, promises disappearing quicker than biscuits at a carer support group, and enough contradictory advice to sink a battleship. To be fair, I've also met some truly outstanding social workers. The good ones are worth their weight in gold and often seem to be holding together a system that's leaking from every rivet. The foster carers I know are good people, tough people, but they're also frightened. Frightened of rocking the boat, frightened of challenging decisions, frightened of losing children they poured their hearts into raising. So instead, many keep their head down and mutter into their tea. Well, I think the kettle is starting to boil. There's a carer's revolution quietly bubbling away, not the pitchforks and burning torches variety, but the far more dangerous kind. Experienced carers comparing notes, asking awkward questions, and realizing they aren't actually mad.
Hurrah! Absolutely, I love that.
Incredible one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that. Fantastic.
Oh my goodness, how many times do we snort into our tea when we read something? And it's not usually out of humour, is it? It's like, oh,
no. Gallows humour.
Gallows humour. So, we're going to get into our podcast today, which is called Them and Us. But Them versus Us. Before we do, I've just seen something online this morning that I wanted to do as a news flash. Guess what? It's from the Fostering Network. Who'd have thought it from me, eh? But unless I keep calling it out, they'll keep calling the tune. So it is an advertisement on their websites, social medias, about and it says newsflash webinar transforming foster care practice, embedding protective care and strengthening allegations management.
Uh-oh.
So it's led by Chief Executive Sarah Thomas and Head of Practice Amber James. Is she head of practice, Amber, now at the Fostering Network? She used to be one of the managers at Hampshire County Council. I think she then moved to Compass, which is a IFA, but she seems to be she head of practice at the Fostering Network or Compass, I don't know. Anyway, Amber James is there as well, and I know Amber. This webinar will introduce our protective care publication. Oh, whoopee! Another publication document about I don't know what, and explore how it strengthens practice and supports a more proportionate approach to managing allegations. So it's exclusively for all members of the Fostering Network. So they bring out a new policy, a new allegations thing, and guess what? That's only for their members. Now, apparently you're going to get an introduction to protective care, this new document or practice guide. I don't know. We've just had a bloody practice guide from Foundations, haven't we? Sorry, I'm going up 3 octaves as usual. I swear every podcast, I listen to it back and I'm like, Sarah, just calm down. No 3 octaves. Just as you were. And it never works. Because this stuff makes me go up 3 octaves. So they're going to explore a new approach to managing allegations that is more proportionate and child-centred. Oh, nothing about the foster carers. They're going to be just as hammered as before, maybe more. They're going to early reflections on these approaches, understand what implementation looks like in your service and where to start. Now, then it says how to further access, listen to this bit, and support to embed the protective care publication and the allegations toolkit.
Right. Well,
I thought that had disappeared and they were told to take it down.
Hang on a minute. Yes, isn't that the same one?
Yeah, it is.
They stuck it back in another room.
They stuck it back in by the back door. Do you know what they remind me of? I know this is not a politics place, but you know, Trump's got really angry at everybody at the moment, and he's stamping his foot and throwing his toys out the pram. And this reminds me of that, throwing the toys out the pram. We will have our allegations toolkit in there, despite the
hook or by
making us take it down.
Going in.
I'm going to have it. It's just anyway. Sorry to bring the politics into it. I didn't, ignore that. So this is a book today. So without anyone knowing it, right at the bottom line there, in comes the allegations toolkit again. What is the protective care plan? So can I say to everyone really as well, first off, this is really important. This is not government policy. This is not national minimum standards or regulations. This is one membership organisation who work for the local authorities, the agencies and social workers, trying to put their control over the system. You do not have to take any notice of it whatsoever. They are not the spokesperson for fostering, even though they look like it.
Can you just say that very clearly and slowly for everyone to hear? This is not national minimum standards. This is not government policy. This is one organisation, which I think is a charity. Is that right?
It's a charity, but you know, Eton School's a charity. It depends how you look at charities, doesn't it? And they make their money out of this.
Right.
Foster carers are simply the commodity.
If foster carers are issued with this particular
protective care or allegations toolkit, if you ignore it,
you don't have to do anything about it.
Well, don't say to your local authority or agencies, we don't want to be part of any of that. Take your allegations toolkit and put it where the sun don't shine.
So how many versions of allegations?
Oh, they haven't published the allegations toolkit. But what have they? They are throwing their toys out the pram and determine it's going to be a thing. I mean, this comes from don't forget, this comes from the leadership.
Yeah.
There's a lot of toys getting thrown out of the pram here.
Oh my gosh, we're foster carers. We know about toys and prams. Now, if foster carers need support about allegations, this goes back to cultural systemic issues. It's not another sort of layer for the foster carers to consume from another organisation within the system. That's not what's needed. What is needed, and this is a reminder to you all, is not more of this. What you need to do is push back on this and say this is cultural. This is systemic.
Yes.
This is your problem, not ours.
Yeah. And I can't find it now, but I had a message yesterday saying from a desperate carer, of course, hadn't joined the union. They joined Foster Wiki, and because we will support people from day one if they take out a yearly membership, which have got a couple of months free on it at the moment. But they said they'd phoned the fostering network, who'd said phone their legal line. They phoned the legal line and found out it is, in fact, outsourced to Arch Legal. Now, I've got the quote somewhere, but I can't find it.
So they're a law firm.
They're one of those things that you get on the back of your house insurance or whatever. So they
what do they know about
so she asked them if they would support her in an allegation she needed legal support. Do you know what they said?
What?
Oh, we don't support people in criminal investigations, only civil ones. That is what they said.
Wow. So
yeah, that's a criminal investigation. That is from the Fostering Network's legal line.
Well, what is their legal line? I think people should check it out.
They buy it in, don't they? They don't provide their own. So if you go to the union, they have their own specialist, the NUPFC, specialist legal, incredible legal department who are specialist foster carers. I mean, in fact, their legal team are the ones that lead all the court cases and stuff. There's nothing they don't know. They have specialist caseworkers, absolutely incredible. But no, the Fostering Network outsource it to one of these generic legal lines.
Who know nothing about fostering and already said
nothing at all, and said we don't support you, and that's a criminal. We don't do criminal investigations.
But then who's funding the membership? Is that the local authorities or the
local authorities and agencies? So basically, they're leaving their carers with nothing. And don't forget what's really happened over time. The way that Fostering Network and Foster Talk found a very easy way to make a lot of dosh out of National Minimum Standard 22.12 that actually says in an allegation you need to have independent support for your carers. So Fostering Network and Foster Talk obviously saw a great thing there. Both invented exactly the same thing, and it's still exactly the same from both of them.
Right.
And now what they do, they don't supply any support in allegations other than the cup of tea and sympathy and these rogue legal lines. Okay. But what they do now is they compete with each other over these sort of peripheral benefits like GP appointments or go buy one, get one free to Chessington. That was never what this was about.
It's like
And the
ambulance
CEO's
foster
fault for it.
carers.
CEO, didn't we tell us not so long ago that they've switched to Foster Talk because they're giving free these GP appointments. And that's another outsourced thing because people have tried to get us to do it. It's you go read the small print on what those GP online appointments are really all about. It's nothing. And he switched the whole company over to Foster Talk.
I wonder if providers actually know this. Maybe, excuse me.
I don't think they do.
Foster carers should encourage their providers to
just more foster carers need to say no thank you, not in my name, because the other thing is Fostering Network, as do fostering networks, we've got, well, it depends on the day, they just reach out for a number, I think 40,000 members. They haven't. They've got a couple of hundred members who are the local authorities in the agencies. They are their members. They then seem to, in my view, dishonestly claim that every carer in that local authority who pays them for this support is their member.
They might not even know they belong.
No, many don't. And many aren't asked. I mean, that's a real GDPR thing. Anyway,
it really is.
I could go on about this forever, so shall I move on a bit?
Yeah.
So that was my news flash. So something else you and I have been speaking about this week, and again, it does go to that them and us thing as well, them versus us. There was so much news in the week, so much recruitment stuff, so much talk, because of course there's new rounds foster care reform money up for grabs, except that it's not actually up for grabs at all. Because I thought, oh, good, Starling, foster no, it's just for local authorities to bid whether they want to run be in a regional recruitment hub or a regional what they call the RCCs. Oh, I can't even remember. My brain's so fuddled. It's all just so much of a muchness. So it's been up in a moment. So why don't they foster? So we saw a post from Josh McAllister, the Children's Minister, this week, proudly, spouting again about how marvellous foster care is, how rewarding it is, how amazing it is. And his big tagline was, why don't you just pick up the phone to find out and to foster? And I replied to that post, why don't you pick up the phone? Because here's the thing. Because we reckon, don't we, if all those involved in fostering, I'll just do a list that I can remember off the top of my head, what government, fostering policy department employees, the vast number of consultants, the organisations, the charities and all their employees, like Fostering Network, foundations, marketing departments, agencies, social workers, managers, director of children's services, CEOs, all the employers of the IFAs, the managers, the admin, the recruitment departments, consultancies like Mutual Ventures, like Empower, and all the shady ones we don't even know about. I'm at a loose reckoning. I reckon we've got 20 or 30,000 and more in that. So all those who are telling us about the crisis in recruitment, almost sort of shaming the public into why aren't you fostering, and how we need 10,000 more foster carers, how desperate it is, how children are ending up in evil residential homes, how they're all suffering, and all the public has to do is pick up the phone. So you telling me that not one of those 30-odd thousand people have a spare room? Because remember the PR, the marketing, the propaganda, all of it, bar none, says that literally anyone can foster. Married, single, anyone, in any situation, any status, you can do it working full-time, you do it working part-time. There is nothing stopping you picking up that phone, because all you need is a spare room. So you're telling me those thousands of people haven't got a spare room on the salaries they're on and the privileged lifestyles they have. If they all step forward to help children and keep asking everybody else to do it, I've added up that I reckon it would solve the problem overnight.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh,
I'm going to take a slig of my squash here. Get prepared for this.
Of your squash, right? Okay, let me give you a number. Okay, Ofsted currently collects fostering data from 465 registered agencies in England alone. That's 465 independent fostering agencies. Right, hold that number. Each of those have a manager, a registered individual, admin staff, supervising social workers, recruitment officers, and then you've got your local authorities. That's 153 of them. Right? So on top of your 465, each running their own fostering service. Then the DFE. Then, as you said, the policy units. Then the charities, people like Fostering Network can foster. Then the consultancies. And there are a lot of consultancies. My goodness, a lot of people consultants. Then the marketing agencies. The conference speakers, those with expertise, the framework writers, the hub coordinators, and
all a hub coordinator, don't leave them out.
Fields with pens and key rings and t-shirts trying to recruit people walking by. We're talking conservatively about tens of thousands of people whose entire professional lives are structured around the fostering crisis.
Yep.
Whose salaries depend on the fostering crisis.
Of course.
Who go home
if they solved it?
Yeah.
Who if they go fostered, it would be solved.
To their houses, which statistically many of them will have a spare room, and none of them will foster. But
because you're so right, they would solve their own job.
Yes. And here's the thing. The government have spent 36 million, but I did that conservatively because I know you hold all the numbers. 36 million on recruitment campaigns since 2003. 36 million pounds, right?
Oh, God, it's much more than that.
It's much more than that. It's over
It's in excess of, I would think, 100 million now.
100 million. Let's scrap that. I always go conservative on the numbers.
Yeah.
And in the same period, we have lost carers every single year. Numbers down for 4 consecutive years.
Yeah.
So the campaigns aren't working. The phone isn't being picked up. The people running the campaigns, still employed, still conferencing, still branding. But they're not the ones fostering. If they did, we wouldn't have the crisis. It's the crisis fueling their income streams.
Yes, goodness me, you've nailed it.
It's not, I'm not saying it's simple, Sarah, I'm not.
I know.
I'm saying there's something deeply revealing about a sector that has perfected the art of describing a crisis without ever quite joining the solution. Now, in wartime, who makes the most money? It's the manufacturers of weapons, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
We're in a fostering crisis. Who's making the most money? Those that are talking about the crisis.
Those who are profiting off the crisis.
About the crisis could be fostering, and we would not have a crisis.
So true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Like you say, we're not trying to make it simple. It's not, but that is a very simple, fundamental point. Actually, it's so simple. Actually. So, all right, there's a challenge to all of those listening, shaking your heads or doing whatever you're doing in the sector. Contact me and Louise. Put your money where your mouth is and foster.
We'll help you.
Thank you.
We'll
we'll help you.
line you up with some good agencies or providers.
We have indeed. Especially our sponsors. Shout out to Fostering UK, our sponsors. They've been sponsoring us for a while now. I just want to do a big shout out to them, because seriously, if you want to foster, you contact us or Fostering UK, because it's a whole different ball game there. And for all of you thinking, oh, I couldn't foster because I've seen things around social media, I've seen what Gara's saying, they're the man for you at the moment. Right, the naughty step. Well,
da, 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 da.
We were going to do that sound, weren't we? Let me see how I did find it, and then I haven't done the.
And then life happens. Don't worry.
And then life happens, and I have got it on my phone here somewhere. It's under trumpet sound. It's under. Should I play it?
Go there very loudly. Can't hear a thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, the professionals. Where's the microphone on this thing?
It's like watching someone just discovering that the sun is outside.
Try this.
Can't hear it.
Oh.
Because the microphones only pick up our voices.
Oh, all right. I'll get Carl. I'll get Carl, our production team.
Forgive us, listeners.
I'll get our production team to put it in.
We are very real.
The trumpet one. It goes like this.
Come on, stop mucking about. On with the naughty step.
The highly coveted Naughty Step Award. And this one doesn't illustrate the massive gap between of the them v us variety. This week, to be honest, Louise, there was a outright winner across all categories. A stellar performance. No one could hold a candle to it. And the winner of this week's Naughty Step goes to the Department for Education for their Gemma Collins video.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh boy, was that catastrophic. Now, the reason I put it in here, you could say it was just about this, that, and the other, but it absolutely ignited the SEN families, and it ignited foster carers who also, let's face it, there's hardly a child in foster care that doesn't have special needs. So it was meant to be, all of those were meant, the Department for Education are there working for and supporting these people, yet the ministers being derogatory and arrogant, dismissing the desperation of SEND families and children, even telling them not to be snobs. Talk about victim blaming. Yeah, the video's in the show notes. Run on to say it shows Gemma Collins, famously or infamously known for The Only Way is Essex, bursting through the lift to the DFE floor, very cheerfully rallying the troops and having a sit down with the Secretary of State for Education, the Right Honourable Bridget Phillipson. It caused an almighty backlash with parents and foster carers. Many said, many literally said they're grieving for children who are lost after years of unmet need, school trauma, mental health collapse, and systemic failure. And they just said it was insensitive, insulting, and frighteningly out of touch. And it affects foster carers just as much. It hurt and upset so many desperate parents. Then, to add insult to injury, Bridget Phillipson gets in some interview and starts victim blaming, saying that it was loads of fun and that everyone who objected was snobs and had a killjoy attitude, and said, oh, there's enough doom and gloom in the world. I mean, how far can you be out of touch, tone deaf, not reading the room? I don't know. What do you think? Oh, it was, wasn't it? It was
my reaction. Oh, hang on, I need a moment here. Because the video itself is one thing, isn't it? Clumsy, misjudged, whatever.
Brash, kind of, brash, I don't know, something, yeah.
But it's the response to the backlash that tells you everything about the them versus us.
Yeah.
When thousands of SEND parents and foster parents and kinship carers and all of us who are looking after SEND children who are exhausted, bereaved, in some cases fighting every day for their children to receive support that they are legally entitled to, by the way, says this hurts us. The correct response is not to call them snobs. Oh my goodness. It is not to tell them there's enough doom and gloom in the world, because frankly, aren't governments kind of responsible for a lot of the doom and gloom in the world? These are not killjoys. These are parents of children with profound needs who looked at that video, and I can tell you what, the younger children were going, "Who's that?" Looked at that video, saw a government that finds their reality an inconvenient backdrop to its content strategy. And let's talk about what the DFE actually spent on this. They didn't pay Gemma Collins, apparently a couple of cans of Red Bull covered it. What they did pay, they did spend $350,000 on an influencer content in the previous year.
Wow.
More than any other government department. So that's not including what they spent on that particular disaster. Awful. So this is not a one-off social media blunder. There's a legacy here that, needs further investigation. This is a deliberate strategy of performing concern about children while the systems that actually support children are in free fall. The Gemma Collins video is the them versus us in 18 seconds of high definition footage. There is packaged, filtered, soundtracked, and completely oblivious to the people it was supposedly for. I also heard through the grapevine that there's an internal war going on because I don't know if this is true, but everyone's free to go and investigate. That the marketing agency that they employed to do that disaster was dropped, and a new contract was given to another marketing agency. So perhaps the marketing agency that knew that they had this brief to do did it this way. Maybe they realized that the government were completely clueless. I'll tell you what I find really. Did you ever watch W1A, that great show about how that dreadful corporate world is, that use of language, this is, it's not a problem, it's just a solution waiting to happen, all that kind of around, all that corporate
word salads.
Word salads, which is what you get, isn't it, in that world? But you see, the thing is that the children are now paying the price for the sour grapes amongst organizations which they're commissioned. Also, the DFE, I had wanted to believe that the DFE was a bunch of earnest, decent people who were interested in the good of all our children.
Some of the policy team do feel like that. I don't think, we work with the policy team and other teams, and actually, obviously we're mentioning names, but there's some really good eggs there that I just do believe are genuinely doing it for the right reasons.
Yes.
But this goes above their heads, doesn't it? They're not part of this.
I wonder what they feel.
That's the fostering department, not the education secretary department. So
this is PR. So yes, a very big naughty step where I think that they
well earned
for eternity.
I mean, that was one of the highest quality awards we've given out. I think we need to start putting them into at the end of the year we'll do the first top 5, an award. It's going to be a very prestigious award. The annual naughty step goes to, we'll get a cup, I think, and we'll send it to them.
A plastic one, a sort of recycled.
A naughty step
one.
Recycled naughty step cup to be sent at the end of the year for the best one of the year. We might even ask you, our adoring public,
can we write
to send in. We'll get a vote on it. We'll get a vote on which was the best naughty step contender. Okay, moving on. I'm not going to go on about this one because we've kind of covered it, but I just wanted to raise something I saw that knocked me this week. Goes to that gap again and goes to what we've just been speaking about. And it's about leadership. So quietly tucked away on LinkedIn this week was the launch of the sector's newest private circle. It was called the Leadership Room. And there are a lot of, not a crisis summit on collapsing foster care retention, not an urgent conversation about worsening outcomes for children, not even serious reckoning on why care experienced children are leaving in, and carers leaving in exhaustion, financial strain, and the terrible effect on care leavers. No, instead, they have a private dinner described as chemistry and connection with people travelling from Swansea, York, and Essex. What feels like a system in distress and more like a familiar networking circuit redefining itself again. So the symbolism is almost, honestly, it's almost too neat. I mean, they hand this stuff to us on a plate. They really do. So while foster care is holding all that complex high-risk family situations together on the ground, kinship carers stretched into financial hardship beyond belief, the sector's leadership spaces are talking about, this was their inaugural meeting, the Leadership Room. I won't go into who was there, but all I can say, it was the leaders of all the major charities and organizations that led us into this crisis. But of course, you were right. They feed off the crisis. So
they live from the crisis.
So do you know what they're they just hand this John plate, don't they? So all that going on in foster care, all the terribly difficult things and the harm and the hurt and everything. So what is their inaugural talk going to be on? Personal branding.
Oh, God, I know.
There's so much disconnect. I won't go into it much further, but these people positioned as these leadership things, they're not just tone deaf. It's I can't think it's accidental and they don't know and they are just oblivious. I think you've nailed it for me this morning, Louise.
Thank you, Sarah.
Without the crisis, they wouldn't have their leadership rooms, would they? And how can you call them leadership rooms when they're the very people that have led us into this disaster, are still running it? Oh, yeah.
Well, they led the disaster, didn't they? So they are leaders of the disaster.
Yeah, they are leaders of the crisis. It should be the leadership crisis ongoing. Anyway, let's move on from that because it's only going to get worse after the break. So we're off to a break now and we will see you afterwards. This is an advertisement for Foster Wiki Support Plus. If you're a foster carer listening to this podcast and nodding your head, then this is for you. We founded Foster Wiki because we are carers. We have lived in the support gaps, so we know exactly what's missing. We know about the long hours managing complex trauma, the high-stakes decisions, the challenges of working in a fractured system, and the need for support 365 days a year. That's why Foster Wiki membership means so much to our members. This is support that really works. It's genuine frontline experience and understanding. It's solution-focused problem solving and real professional development through the National Foster Carers Qualifications. We want to support you to create a secure base for the children in your care safely and sustainably, whilst also feeling professional, confident and respected. The joining link is in the show notes. It's exceptionally good value, and currently there is an offer for annual membership with 2 months completely free. Welcome back, everybody. Right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of them versus us on the front line, which, according to who you speak to, doesn't or does exist. So before we go ahead, let's clear this up once and for all, okay? Someone left this comment for me last week. You pit social workers against foster carers. Have you ever considered being less adversarial and tried to form working relationships with LAs instead of working to create a divide that may be more than it is? Said a social worker. So let me say this really loudly and clearly. It feels like a recurring pattern. So let me be clear. All of my work over the last decade, and yours, Louise, has been dedicated to trying to do the exact opposite of what we're accused of. Through many organisations, the local authorities, with the government, everybody, we have tried to bridge this divide. And we have failed. Not from our trying, but because they don't want it. You know, I worked, as you know, in a little organisation called Foster Care Empowerment. I worked alongside a highly respected former director of children's services. He was a government advisor, lifelong social worker. Between us, we spent over a year meeting local authorities as foster care and a social worker, offering independent listening project workshops, data, opportunities, relationship building on the front line, engagement to work and address these well-documented issues. It failed because, without exception, every local authority told us essentially the same thing. There was no real problem, and every offer of independent, collaborative and meaningful work was declined, out of hand. So please don't accuse us of not trying to work with people, ever. And as you know, and you know, as for, so how did the them and us evolve? Well, the power imbalance, lack of protections or right for foster carers, lack of accountability for services and agencies, the type of people or who they think the type of people who they recruit are less than them. You can see that by the infantilization, the cheap hero of the week award certificates, the narrative from people like the Fostering Network. We're always less than. We're always to be patronized and infantilized and less than. So the infantilization of the workforce, firstly, if you've had any previous professional experience or expertise, it is wiped away when you become just a foster carer. Then you're handed hero of the week certificates, have training running around rooms standing in front, red, amber and green post-it notes. You're given books about fostering with illustrations of rainbows, I know, heroes in caps, cartoon characters, charters that apparently support us, and lately now we've got practice guides and God knows what. They're so demeaning. We get supported with crafting afternoons, patronised, diminished, looked down on at every turn, even by the best, whose unconscious bias towards foster carers goes totally unexamined. Over to you.
Yeah, well, what strikes me about the evolution of them and us is that it wasn't designed. I don't believe it was. Nobody sat in a room and said, right, let's make foster carers feel worthless. It evolved through 1,000 small decisions made by a system that never once had to sit with the consequences of any of those decisions. Because it was their consequences to sit with, because it wasn't their consequences to sit with. It never affected them. It was only ever ours, the carers, that sat with their consequences. The infantilization is particularly revealing. Oh, we've seen some, haven't we, Sarah? There are comb your hair before panel. I'll never forget that. There are
I know. Brush. What tips for panel, wasn't it?
Yeah,
don't forget to brush your hair.
Brush your hair, clean your teeth.
Goodness me.
There are foster carers in this country who are former nurses, former police officers, former teachers, former therapists, all still practicing in any of those careers.
Paediatricians, accountants. Exactly. We've got them all on our teams, haven't we?
Yeah. People with decades
civil servants.
Honestly, people with decades of professional experience in exactly the kind of high-stakes human situation that fostering demands. At the moment, they are approved. At the very moment they go to panel and they are approved, all of that evaporates. They're handed a certificate with a cartoon of a cape on it and asked to do a color-coded feelings exercise. Meanwhile, the social worker across the table, who may be into their 2 years into their career, is addressed as a professional in the room. This is not a criticism of social workers before you start. Most of them are working under impossible pressure and care enormously about the children they support. It is a criticism of a system that has decided structurally that the carer is now the recipient of their expertise rather than the holder of it, which they were in the first place.
Yeah.
And here's what's important to understand about the lack of accountability. It's not just that services get away with things, it's that there's no accountability, there's no learning. You have to have learning, follows accountability. That is why
Mm,
accountability is joyfully wonderful, brilliant. We should not fear it, we grow from it. The same
mm,
dynamics repeat. The same carers burn out. The same children experience the fallout. And the system just keeps moving because the system doesn't feel the cost. The carers do, and the children do.
yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. And and they cheerfully carry on to absolutely, especially the leadership. There's no them versus us on the front line. And that always comes from the ones with the power, doesn't it? Oh, there's
Yeah,
none of that. What are you talking about? They all get on terribly well on that front line. All the social workers are wonderful. They're all very happy. I always say
you
to them, oh, the
create.
foster care is happy. Even in those, do you know, in those rooms when I went with that Director of Children's Services, in those rooms to speak to local authorities, loads of them. I got treated in those rooms like the foster carer.
Yeah,
It was an absolute microclimate
yeah,
of exactly what goes on out there.
yeah,
I got treated in those rooms with, first of all, they didn't want to hear much from me. They kept asking him. Secondly, I was patronised.
yeah,
My ideas were snorted at.
yeah.
I mean, it was
It's like being a
unreal.
it's like being a woman from the 1950s, isn't it? You
Oh,
kind of
it was unreal. I'd
what
come up, and
foster carers are.
these were women as well, and I'd come out
I
of
know.
those meetings
Doesn't
say to this
matter.
chap, "What the actual thing?"
It's a very, very
Ah,
strange, and I would love. I mean, I know you're a
murky,
psychotherapist. It's very murky, but
very
it's a very.
murky.
I'd like to. I'd like the psychologists, the therapists, the clever people who deal with brains and all the rest of it. What is this about? Why is it that people, who have careers or professions, or people with lives, people with intelligence, people with backgrounds who have skills and expertise and qualification become a foster carer, and all that is stripped away, and then
Do you know
we
what? I think it's
listen.
simpler than that.
What
I
is
think it's
it?
simpler than that. I don't think it's psychology. I think all you need to do is watch Lord of the Flies or George Orwell's Animal Farm,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you give people power,
yeah.
and this is what happens. When you
And
give
there's so
one sector power and the others don't even have the most basic protections or
yeah.
rights, you get into this Animal Farm, all pigs are equal, but some are more equal than others
Well,
syndrome.
exactly that. And there's a lot of money. These children bring in a lot of money, don't they?
They
Let's
bring
be
in
honest.
a
You
lot of
don't want
money, yeah.
clever foster carers advocating for the children and raising concerns about the use
Mm,
of spending. How
mm.
do you get foster care uncovered? Who do it anyway?
Yeah. And also, let's face it, it's not just, everyone goes straight to the profits that the IFAs make. It's not about that. Remember that these people, these CEOs, these directors, now, they're all on really comfortable salaries, really comfortable, well in excess of 150 grand, most of them. And, middle management, all the rest of it, all on comfortable salaries. Oh, why don't you do some stats? Because I'm making you do the stats as a punishment for not doing the stats.
Oh, Sarah. All right then. This is from the. Oh, you are mean. You know I don't like. I'm arty. I like wafting.
Yeah, well, let's face it, you didn't even do the stats. I had to hand them to you to read.
This is
Let's
true.
be honest here.
All right then.
You
This
are.
is from. Oh, stop it! You don't you choke on that orange squash now? Right. So this is. Oh, she has. Oh God, she's going bright red. Do you want me to call first aid?
It's a bit hysterical. We always get a bit hysterical midway, don't we? Like, oh.
All right then.
Oh.
I'm gonna do the stats as punishment because I never do the stats. Right. This is from the groundbreaking and record-breaking Independent Foster Carers 2024 survey with 2,500 respondents and 14,500 comments.
Yes, that was pretty stellar, wasn't it? They'd all written 14,500 written responses, handwritten responses. Yeah.
I'm going to read these out. So, are you all sitting comfortably? You got your maca mocha latte?
I've got my squash.
Yeah, you got the squash. Don't choke. Right. So 48% say their provider does not or only sometimes comply with the law and national minimum standards, which, and gosh, foster carers work that out for themselves, which of course leaves them vulnerable. Nearly half, not a rogue handful, nearly half of respondents working inside a system that isn't meeting its own legal flaw. Naughty, naughty. 67% say official ratings don't match their day-to-day experience. This is crucial because Ofsted is their only accountability. Yet, if you look at inspections and outcomes and ratings, it is very obvious to see that Ofsted has firmly in the them camp. 2/3 of carers are living a reality that the official record simply does not capture. 50% reported a concern or complaint about professionals in the last year. Although, again, it takes a brave soul, doesn't it, Sarah, to do this?
Yeah, it does.
I wonder how many of those ended in retaliatory allegations because that fear of what happens when you speak.
One of the biggest, I'm sorry to say, it's one of the biggest triggers of allegations if often carers say, I don't know what happened. It came out of the blue. I've been on the back of the buses as they're, advertising fostering. I've been to all the events of And I said, well, when did you make your complaint? And they went, oh, how did you know I did that? And I said, well, that's the only thing I can think. Something's triggered it.
Yeah.
But don't worry. We have the allegations toolkit to sort that out and bring it all back to the child. Never mind the social workers, never mind the foster carers.
We're going to blame the child.
Manage the hell out of them.
Oh my God. 78% say their mental health, this is really startling, say their mental health has suffered due to fostering. And that's relevant because there is not only no support, there is no acknowledgement. Foster carers feel them and us keenly when it comes to mental health. The professional has a supervision, EAP schemes, clinical support pathways.
Yeah.
The carers get a crafting afternoon.
Yes. Yeah.
82% to 85% say fear of allegations affects their fostering role, and 85% do not feel confident that allegations are handled fairly or justly. Never is the them versus us more absolute than an allegation. At this point, a carer can lose their home, their income, their identity, and the system has no independent oversight, no required timeline, and no obligation to keep them informed. So come on, people, pick up that phone.
But don't worry, Louise.
Foster carers.
We've got a new practice guide and the allegations toolkit.
Oh my! Toolkit. It affects both.
Mockingbird. Together. 1, 2, 3.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Mockingbird.
We've become very tuneful this morning, Sarah. I want your squash. You're the other side of the country.
It's hysteria.
Right, okay. So it affects both because it underlines all the problems. 75% say feeling undervalued is a key reason for considering resignation. With 56% citing the conduct of social workers as a worrying percentage reporting bullying. It's simple, really. No foster carer, no foster care. So those free lunches are going to run out soon when we've all gone, and you won't be able to have your spare that you don't use where you can foster.
And let's get back and let's see, how does it affect the children? How
Dramatically,
does it
that's
affect
how
the
it
children?
affects
If the
them.
very people who are supposed to be advocating for you are dominated and effectively silenced, then how
Yeah.
can they actually advocate for you? If the relationship is bad between your foster care and the social worker, and that is the worst relationship we recorded, something like 75% are bad relationships with the children's social worker, how is that advantageous to the child? If
It's not.
retention and recruitment is badly affected by those frontline relationships, then they'll end up in unsuitable settings and not in loving family homes. And if carers feel bullied, diminished, infantilized, less than, and vulnerable, how can they give the children their best?
They can't. And you know, in England, just England has lost 7,545 approved carers since 2021. That is not a blip, is it?
Wow.
It is 4 consecutive years of decline, despite the over 100 million in government recruitment spending. Well, that could have been spent on the children, couldn't it? The number of children's homes, meanwhile, that's unregistered and unregulated, has risen by 15% in a single year. The system is not adapting, it is substituting. And residential care costs vastly more, both financially and for the child. What's particularly damning is this: inquiries from people interested in fostering actually went up last year. Did you know that, Sarah? Went up by 14%. But
You're talking to the stats queen here. I do
I know,
indeed know that.
I'm just trying to make you feel special. But applications fell. Somewhere between picking up that phone and signing the form, people are discovering what the reality looks like and deciding against it. That is not a marketing problem, that is a culture problem. And until culture changes, no amount of influencer spend or ministerial enthusiasm is going to fix it.
Nora ending now at the regional recruitment hubs because
No,
they don't listen to us. They don't listen to
they just
anyone.
confused
They're run
everybody.
by mutual ventures and they think they know it all. There's nothing worse than arrogance mixed with ignorance. It's the most dangerous thing of all, isn't it?
Yeah.
An arrogant person who's actually arrogant, an arrogant corporation that's ignorant of the facts. You're just
Yeah.
going to get more of the same, more
Yeah.
of the same. And I bet when the stats come out in November and they're still disastrous, I know what they're going to say. Well, it takes time. Well, you've had 3 or 4 years now. And every year you say it takes time. And do you know what else they say? They say, takes a long time to get people through the approval system. Well, change it then. And it don't take four
Change it.
years. Oh, so what needs to change and why? Many think it will change with carers having their misclassified working status corrected and they're given the rights that they should already have. And that's going through the courts as we speak. But we have to reach Supreme Court for that to override the previous precedent. However, the government, who are the defendants, are doing everything in their power to delay and scupper that court case. So in all fairness, it's unlikely to reach the Supreme Court for another couple of years. I don't think that alone will fix it. I don't think it's an entire answer. And I'm not sure it's a purely legal status thing. But don't think I don't put importance on the court case, which is very ably run by the National Union of Professional Foster Carers, headed up by Robin Fimley. And I know what personal cost that's come to him as well. I do. I just don't think it's the whole answer, and we need to take other things into account. So here's my penny's worth, and then you can tell me what you think. When foster carers talk about that them and us, the them versus us culture, people often assume they're talking about difficult social workers, difficult managers, or different agencies. But I think the actual problem runs much deeper than that. I think it's built into the way fostering system is designed itself. And if you look at foster care, the most important thing in foster care is the relationship. It's the relationship you have with the social workers, with the children, with your agency, with the local authority. It's all about the relationship. And I know it's bandied about, it seems terribly modern and bandied about a lot at the moment, but we haven't bandied it around a lot. We've been saying it a lot for very many years. Children don't heal because a form was completed on time. They don't recover from trauma, I don't know, because a commissioning framework was updated or something. They recover because somebody understands their trauma And he gets up for them at 3 a.m, sits with them when they're struggling, takes them to school, celebrates their birthdays. I know, sticks with them through the difficult days, holds them. That's the relational heart of foster care, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's where the divide starts. Foster carers sit right at the centre of that child's life. Yeah, I think they're often pushed to the edge of the decision making, and they carry the responsibility for providing the stability, the continuity, but they have so little influence at overshaping that child's journey. Usually the ones shaping the journey, aren't they, are the ones that actually don't know the child at all. And that's a story for another day. So I think when carers feel like there's a them and us culture, I don't think it's simply because people are behaving badly. I think it's because we've created a system where people delivering the care are structurally separated from the people designing and controlling it. The system's become organised around managing care rather than supporting relationships. I mean, this sounds a bit airy-fairy, but it really isn't. We've got to get to the nub of it, and we've got to understand how badly this system is designed. It's like a corporate system designed for caring for the most vulnerable children in the country. It doesn't go hand in hand. And until we start putting the relationship back, and the people who provide at the centre of the system, until we put the foster carers back at the centre of the system and stop all this patronising shit, we'll keep seeing the same frustrations, the same placement instability, the growing disconnect between carers and the institutions that depend on them. We'll start to see, more decline in retention, less recruitment. I mean, that's a bit of a highfalutin way of looking at it, but frankly, I think it's the heart of it.
I think what you just described, Sarah, with real forensic precision, is exactly why reform keeps failing. Because you can change legislation, fund recruitment hubs, run national campaigns, and appoint a minister who calls it his personal priority. And if you haven't changed the relational architecture of the system, nothing structurally shifts. You just refilling a bath, but you've taken the plug out. The court case matters, rights matter, being correctly recognised as a worker matters, with the protections that implies. Change the power dynamic in a way that all the goodwill in the world cannot. I want that to happen, but Sarah is right. You are so right that it isn't the whole answer, because them versus us isn't only a legal problem, it's a cultural one. The culture doesn't change because a judge says so. What would actually change it? I think 3 things. First, foster carers being present at every table where decisions about their roles are made. Not consulted afterwards, if at all. Not represented by organisations that they didn't elect, but actually being in the room. Second, accountability that runs in both directions, not just Ofsted inspecting agencies and providers, but carers having a genuine protected route to raise concerns without fear of retaliation. And third, and I know this sounds radical, treating foster carers as the specialists that they are, not the grateful recipients of a system's generosity, but not heroes to be celebrated once a year with a fortnight and a certificate. Actual partners, co-designers, professionals. Until the system genuinely internalizes that the person doing the most important job is the person in the house at midnight, not the person chairing the strategy meeting, we will be back here next year, Sarah, having this conversation again with slightly worse numbers, or dramatically worse numbers, and many, many more tired carers. And the children will be still paying that bill.
Hear, hear. And I want to say as well, for anyone who says, oh, it's all just problems, we have got solutions. We're coming with the solutions. We've spoken to the Department for Education about the solutions. We just need to be heard now. But if we're not heard, will come in via the back door.
Yeah.
So I won't say any more about that, but it's happening and it's starting. So all the foster carers out there, it's beginning, and we will create the foster care system that our children deserve.
Yes.
On that note, we're going to end now. And please come. Your messages are wonderful, but please keep coming at us with. You can see the emails in the show notes. Come at us with your messages, your ideas, what you'd like to ask us, anything. A couple of little things here. Excuse me. So the Foster Wiki merch, the store goes live in a few days, and we'll put some photos of the merch in the show notes. A very beautiful t-shirt. Let's say it's got a little heart on it. It says it takes a village, and then just Foster Wiki quietly underneath. And I think that sums us all up here, doesn't it? It's what we're all about. It takes a village, and it's exactly what you were just talking about then. So I want people to buy the mug and hold it in their meetings online, wear the hat, wear the t-shirt, wear the sweatshirt, carry the water bottle. But the merch, those are just the beginning bits of merchandise, because the shop has so many opportunities. But please remember as well that every time you buy something, you help us. You help us to continue, because we all do this for nothing. And and we need your help to keep going. So you not only get a great, wonderful t-shirt or a mug or whatever, but you also help us out. So please keep your eyes on that merch. Lots of exciting things coming up. So that's my thing. Anything from you, Louise?
Exciting things coming up. The dahlias in the garden, if the snails haven't eaten after all the rain. I do love a cutting flower for the kitchen table. I haven't got anything as exciting this week.
Nothing else coming up, hopefully.
I've sadly had to close today, earlier today, the charity Spark Sisterhood. After 3 years of work. Brilliant
fantastic work as well.
We just can't keep doing the funding bids for free.
Well, you can't compete with what you can't compete is with the big boys who create this crisis and are living off it.
Yes.
You were mistaken. What you did, Louise, you were mistaken. You actually created a charity where you're going to fix things. Silly Louise.
Well, I after 3 years, my level of cynicism has actually become more robust. Is that I sometimes wonder if people want children to be happier. I sometimes wonder if our governments and our great and good actually do want our children's mental health to improve and their prosperity to improve. I know I do, and I know you do, and I know listening do, and a lot of social workers do, and a lot of people. But something ain't right, Sarah. Something
ain't right. It's the murky bit, but we are working on it, and we will get there, and we will forge change, and more and more. I've just in our Foster Wiki National Advisory Council is growing by the day, and I'm having to say to some people, oh, hang on, I'll definitely you can join. But it's just phenomenal how many people are stepping up now, how many carers are stepping up. Ones who said, I was a bit frightened before, but now I've just had enough and we can't do this to the kids anymore. So absolutely, that is brilliant news, and we will be bringing solutions, not just problems. Absolutely. So it's goodbye from me. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We've got a great guest coming up in the next couple of weeks. Very honoured to have John Pierce appearing on the podcast. He was the Director of Children's Services at Durham for a long time, outstanding in Durham for many years under John's leadership. He then was the president of the Association of Directors of Children's Services, and he's been writing some really great things on Substack about. I find them really quite inspiring now that he's left that to his work on what can be done to change. So looking forward to that. So bye from me.
And bye-bye from me, and take care, everyone. Lots of love.
See you very soon.
Bye.